Hello everybody, this is SeetherCord here, and welcome to the newest installment of my SeetherRambles series here on YouTube. How have you guys all been this past week? I've been okay, It's kind of been more of an week. It's had an even amount of bad and good stuff happening, but however, it's a positive week in my opinion. I say this because even though it's been as I said, half and half, I still feel positive for the most part. It feels like a good week even though it's been average. So with that description of the entire week as a whole out of the way, let's now go into the topics of what I want to discuss today for SeetherRambles. Today for SeetherRambles, we're going to talk about a complete Nintendo 64 and GameCube collection, collecting sports games, reproduction cartridges, feeling like a bad boyfriend, but now I'm just like, fuck it, hurt my tooth on a kernel, got new toothpaste, and 24-hour Walmart challenge videos. So if you guys weren't aware from a lot of my other previous videos, I am a huge video game fanatic. I'm a huge gamer. I like to collect a lot of retro video games, primarily Nintendo, and a little bit of Microsoft and Sony and Sega here and there, but mostly it's Nintendo. And when it comes to my game collecting, in the past I've always been like, okay, I'm only going to collect the highest of quality of games, but I'm not going to collect complete full sets. I'm not really going to be the type of person to do that because I want to put time and effort into every game I play. And then now I'm kind of like, you know what? I want to do a complete set. Not for every system. I don't want to get every single game released for every single system. I want to get a complete Nintendo 64 collection and a complete Nintendo GameCube collection. And it's not even just going to be the North American region games. It's going to be all three PAL, North American, and Japanese region games for both of these systems. I might also aim to get every color variation and limited edition of both of these systems, which might take me 10 years to do. But I feel like it would be an awesome thing to do, and I also want to start a thing on my gaming channel where I play through every single Nintendo 64 game and then every single GameCube game. Not complete finishing the games, but doing a 20-minute video just showing off them and displaying them and everything. And I think that would be a pretty cool thing to do for my gaming channel. And I won't deny it will take a lot of money and it will take a lot of time, but even if I make a decent amount of money, I feel like I can do it over time, and I feel like it's something I'll be really passionate about. So with that being said, there's about 600 to 700 complete GameCube games throughout all three regions, and there's about 388 games to be exact for the Nintendo 64 across all three regions. So I got a long way to go. And speaking with collecting every game for a system, we're now going to move into the next topic, which is sports games. The Nintendo GameCube and the Nintendo 64 have a lot of sports games to them, and if I want to go for a complete set, I gotta buy a lot of them. And just yesterday, I bought freaking 3 sports games for $7 in total, because sports games are super cheap for the most part, because not that many people play them and there's so freaking many of them. I got Madden 2003 from the Nintendo GameCube, I got Tiger Woods PGA Tour 2003 for the GameCube, and I got Madden 2001 for the Nintendo 64. And I didn't really care that much for the Madden games in my opinion, but I tried out the Tiger Woods game on the GameCube and it's actually really fun. I feel like the Tiger Woods PGA Tour series for the GameCube is really good from what I hear, and there's 5 of them for the GameCube, so heck, maybe I might do a Let's Play of it because it's actually really fun. I've never really been a major sports games guy. The only sports games that I ever really put a lot of time and effort into that I really loved was NFL Blitz on the Nintendo 64. That one was freaking awesome. Next thing we're going to issue in is when we keep going on with game collecting, this is the last part to it, is that we have to discuss reproduction cartridges. Reproduction cartridges for video game collecting is basically when it's not the official release, like a company or a third-party supporter team makes these fake cartridges, and sometimes they'll flat out state on the label that it's fake or something like that, and it's not an actual copy. But sometimes they try to make it hidden, and you can kind of see if the sticker for the game is not put on properly, or the font's different for the warranty on the back. And sometimes a lot of people get really sneaky with this, where they try to convince you that it's the original copy and it's not actually, it's just a reproduction cartridge. So you got to be really careful with that. And I did a lot of research on it for the Nintendo 64, and I picked up a copy of Mario Party 3 on eBay for a decent amount of money, in my opinion. And it's why I say it's a decent amount of money. It's actually one of the rarest N64 games because it came out near the end of the lifespan of the N64. But I did my research and I checked a couple different ones on eBay, and I found the one that I feel is the genuine copy, and I got it in the mail a few days ago and I tested it out. It works perfectly fine, and looking at the cartridge myself, it looks authentic. One of the craziest ways to tell whether or not a Nintendo 64 cartridge is real or not, and I actually have it in my hand right now while looking at it, is that when you flip it over and you look at the screws on the back that keeps the cartridge together, the screws that keep it together have to be hexagonal shaped, and if they're rounded shaped, that shows that they're fake, because official Nintendo release cartridges for the N64 use these hexagonal screws. And I think that's freaking crazy in my opinion. But yeah, pretty awesome. And I got a genuine copy, so I'm happy. Especially for the fact that it's one of the rarest games out there. We are now finally done with discussing game collection stuff for SeetherRambles today. Let's now move into the non-game collecting stuff finally. And the next topic is feeling like a bad boyfriend, but now I'm just like, fuck it. The reason why I want to bring this up is because this might get a little bit personal, but I just feel like, fuck it, you know, I want to be a little more open on YouTube, so why not just be a little more open? To really start off with what's been in my head for the past week or two, to describe my relationship, I never really like to go into too much detail about it. I know that Cramshy and I, we make videos together, but I just kind of like to show the surface of like us having fun and everything like that. I don't really like delving into like actual like personal touchy things for the relationship, because that stuff's just not necessary on YouTube. But I guess to like be a little bit open without being too open, I'm a pretty hard on myself guy, and there's a lot of times where I don't feel like I'm doing that good of a job being supportive or things like that, and I just kind of like feel like, what if I'm not good enough? But after thinking about it some more and trying to implement being more positive over time over the past couple years of my life, and also with her being really nice and supportive all the time and never being mean ever, now I'm just kind of like, fuck what other people think, I guess. You gotta believe that you are good enough, and you have to just think of yourself as good, and you will succeed and have a lot of fun in your relationships or whatever you're doing, as long as you have confidence. And ultimately, since I've been kind of like being more like fuck it as of lately, I've been feeling a lot better. I'm not really like stressing out about it as much. And the thing is, the relationship has to do with something that's coming up in a month, which I'll get into in the next SeetherRambles episode coming up in about 2 weeks or so, which I'll finally reveal what's going on. But to be fair, this whole thing is kind of making me a little stressed about my relationship a little bit. Now let's move on to the non-video game stuff / relationship issue stuff, and that is hurting my tooth on a kernel and getting new toothpaste. I don't know if I've ever told you guys this, but I have been cursed with fucked up teeth throughout my entire life. Like, if you ever see my baby photos or something, you will see all of my teeth are like super misaligned and everything. It's not as bad now as an adult, but growing up they were really, really bad. I even remember that my orthodontist told me growing up that if I didn't do such a good job wearing my retainer and being responsible with it, I would have ended up developing an underbite, which would have been really, really bad. But I did it. I wore my retainer when I was supposed to, and my teeth got more aligned better. But then after I was done wearing the retainer, my teeth went back to being crooked and everything. And still, they're not as bad. Like, some of them like fit together smoothly, but however, like the two halves on the bottom half of my teeth basically like split like train track splitting. It's really weird to look at. Another problem with my teeth is the top portion of it, which is what I believe is called the enamel. I'm looking at a diagram of teeth right now as I say this, and I'm pretty sure it is the enamel. Correct me if I'm wrong, I'm sorry. But the top portions of them are really deteriorated and everything. And the reason for that is because I'm a grinder. Not that kind of grinder, but like in my sleep or when I'm like doing my own thing or anything like that, I tend to like grind my teeth together. And I ended up doing it impulsively while I sleep as well. And that kind of destroys the enamel part of my teeth. And if you look at my teeth from the top, they're like really sharp and it doesn't feel good and it's not all like rounded and soft. And with that happening, it makes your teeth very sensitive. So a lot of times I can't chew on certain hard foods or it'll start hurting. Sometimes it doesn't really affect me that much, and sometimes it does. And just a few days ago, I was chewing on some popcorn. You don't chew on popcorn, you eat popcorn. I was eating some popcorn and I was eating it, and then I didn't know that there was this kernel, and I took a bite out of it by accident and I heard a and then I was like, oh shit. And then suddenly that tooth I chewed the kernel on was super sensitive. If I tried to drink any water, anything cold, ate anything hot, boom, I feel like this super sense of sensitivity on that tooth, and it would hurt like a bitch. So after that happened, I decided to go to the dentist, and they gave me this toothpaste that's not like regular toothpaste where it just cleans your teeth. It also helps you rebuild the enamel part of your teeth, and I gotta brush that right before I go to bed every night, and it will help rebuild and make my enamel on my teeth stronger. So that way it won't be as sensitive. So I might be able to grow my teeth in better. They'll still be crooked and ugly, but however, I will have less sensitive teeth, and I feel good about that. But anyways, that pretty much wraps up everything I wanted to discuss today for this episode of SeetherRambles. How do you guys feel about the topics I've discussed today for this episode of SeetherRambles? Do you guys like it? Do you guys dislike it? Let me know down in the comment section down below. If you enjoy my content and want to further help out my channel, please consider donating to my Patreon page and my Ko-fi, hitting that like button, turning on the notification bell, and subscribing all together. I have been SeetherCord, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Goodbye, everyone. You had one job cheat. No, I'm kidding. It's fine. It was just like, do the intro. No, it's fine.
All you had to do
was press the buttons with the pictures of food on them. Push the buttons with the pictures of food on.